there's the jab by NONITO Donaire working well.
Oh, look out! Darchinian down for the first time! One of the Philippines came to California at age 10. Very impressive amateur career. 2000 Olympic trials finals. His only pro loss, his second fight. 16 straight wins since. Scenario in which he punished the aforementioned former. He was very clear how he felt going into this fight.
It's impacted. He appears to be somewhat unfazed and ready to get back to business. We'll see, though. Other fighters have been affected by those situations.
That said, he did call the incident one of the hardest nights of his career, and he phoned the United States from Australia every day to find out how Burgos was doing, so you know it impacted on VIC Darchinian. Let's check the numbers right now as we will go to the tail of the tape. Donaire has the physical advantages, just 24, younger by 7 years, a shade taller than Darchinian, but he has the reach by 3.5 inches, and at yesterday's weigh-in, Darchinian 112, Donaire just under the limit. And the notable unified rules for this world title fight. And the injured fighter can continue, he loses by TKO. He loses by TKO. So here at the arena at Harvard Yard, getting ready for Darchinian versus NONITO Donaire for the IBF flyweight championship. For the IBF, let's get the formal introductions from our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and welcome to the arena at Harbor Yard in Bridgeport, Connecticut, as we have a big night of World Championship Boxing coming your way, brought to you by Don King Productions and Showtime. Well, fans, at this time, Gary Shaw Productions, and sanctioned by the International Boxing Federation, President Marion Muhammad, Supervisor Daryl Peoples, along with the International Boxing Organization, President Ed Levine, Supervisor Frank Brunette, and the Connecticut Department of Public Safety. Introducing to you our 3 judges scoring the bout from ringside. From Cromwell, Connecticut, Stephen Epstein. From Flushing, New York, John McKay. And from West Suffield, Connecticut, Donald Trella. And our third man in the ring, the referee in charge, hailing from Brooklyn, New York, Eddie Claudio. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Flyweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first, the challenger on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red trunks with white trim, fighting out of San Leandro, California, by way of General Santos City, Mindanao in the Philippines. He weighed in at a ready 111.5 pounds, with a record of 17 wins and 1 defeat. He has 10 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the current NABF champion, ranked the number 8 IBF world contender. He is known as the Filipino Flash. Introducing NONITO. On my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks, fighting out of Sydney, Australia, by way of Vanadzor, Armenia. He weighed in at the flyweight limit of 112 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign to the ring with 28 wins, no losses, 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight he is making the 7th defense of his title. Here is the undefeated IBF and IBO flyweight champion of the world, known as the Raging Bull, introducing VIC Darchinian.
Okay, gentlemen, you receive your instructions in the dressing room. The IBF and IBO Flyweight Championship is on the line. I expect a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Above all, respect my commands at all times. Let's touch him up. Let's get popping.
Let's get poppin', says Eddie Claudio of Brooklyn. Vic Darchinyan, one of the most unique and unorthodox. In meeting with Nonito Donaire yesterday, he came across as very confident, loose, and incredibly calm. A guy who seemed like he already had the test questions in advance. We'll soon find out, Al.
I like that explanation of that.
Something, unfortunately, I never had.
You know, no, I find that hard to believe. He is a taller fighter with a bigger reach, and those are the things that you always wonder, can a Darchinyan, who's a fighter that comes forward, deal with? Donaire's attacking him much more than I expected right at the beginning.
Darchinyan, not a particularly fast starter in general. It'll be interesting to see if he gets right to it here. He did start unusually fast against Nonito's brother Glenn, who incidentally told the younger Nonito that Darchinyan does not hit hard, and you can see the punches coming. Darchinyan's response, he was toying with Glenn that night. He didn't punch as hard as he usually does. Big left uppercut attempted by Donaire that day.
Two things have happened. The right hand is landing for Donaire, but the left is landing by Darchinyan. But I think Nonito Donaire has made Vic Darchinyan think about his power already.
And a wild swing and a miss with the left by Darchinyan. The free-swinging Darchinyan is being tested right out of the gate here by the younger Nonito Donaire, having a very good start to the fight.
Well, you mentioned it. You know, you said, I got to be honest, in the first half of round one, he's been hit more than we've seen him in all the fights, and he's getting whacked by Donaire.
He just got hit. That was a shove. He just got hit by a left hand by Nonito Donaire. Donaire is the correct thing to do, and another wild
career, but I don't think he's ever lost one the way he's losing this one.
Donaire said he's very cognizant of Darchinyan's uppercut, but that straight left can really wear you down. Boy, Donaire kind of buckled there.
Everything good. First round, okay. A little bit nervous because he's shocking. He come out hard, which is good, Vic.
Well, we don't know how long this is all going to last, but for now, Nonito Donaire is having his way with Vic Darchinyan. There's the right hand landing.
Excellent opening round for the challenger. Nonito Donaire in the red and white, 17-1 with 10 knockouts. The champion Darchinyan up in weight. Well, at least tonight, Darchinyan in there with someone who's fought mostly at flyweight and super flyweight. But remember, Darchinyan regularly spars with guys much bigger than him. Darchinyan 28-0 with 22 knockouts.
Now, Darchinyan told us he wanted to use his right hand a lot more in this fight. He's known primarily as a left-handed puncher. So let's see if he tries to throw the right hook and the right uppercut a little more against Donaire.
Yeah, the reason for that, because he knows that Donaire is going to be circling to his left to try to get away from his power, the left hand. So he'll try to surprise him with the right. There it is, right there on cue.
You know what I'm surprised at? And it's a good weapon.
Left hand by Donaire to the head.
He is landing the jab. Donaire's also landing his left hook pretty well. And of course, that's a good weapon against the southpaw. Donaire not known for that punch. And he's had hand problems with his left. Broken in his second fight as a pro, and it's been troubling him sometimes in fights since.
Oh, Darchinyan got nailed, and then he came back. Gives a right hand, a miss by Donaire with the left hand. And it is really heating up here in round two.
Nonito Donaire is making this an interesting fight, but boy, he could make it too interesting for himself, because there are times when he is standing in harm's way of those
jerky moves of Vic Darchinyan.
That was a seminal moment in this fight. A big left hand by Darchinyan.
Good two-way action here in the early going for the IBF flyweight crowd.
Well, you know, the interesting thing about this, I trade a 115-pounder, and so we're getting a clue of how things would go for him in the 115-pound division.
Darchinyan missing again with a straight left there.
And Darchinyan's landed some more good straight left hands in this round. He's had a better second round. I don't know if he's winning it, but it's been better.
Well, he's usually a slow starter. I mean, even in fights in which he has been highly combustible later on. Trying to push Donaire back with heavy lefts there is Darchinyan, but Donaire standing his ground, looking tough. Final seconds of round two. what is developing into an interesting affair. There he is now, jaw-heeled, a very interested spectator on hand to support his kid brother. Nonito says, hey, it's better to have Glenn in the seats with everybody else, not in the corner, because he just gets too nervous and hyper.
And that's their dad, who, of course, is the trainer of these two young men.
And where's Mom? Well, Imelda Donaire is at home in California watching on TV, and according to Nonito, praying. Well, it must be working to this point, because young Nonito faring pretty well as we enter round 3.
And, you know, round 2, I have to say, I might have put it in Darchinian's column because of his good second half of the round. He did come back very well, and now body work by Donaire. Darchinian's finding Donaire in this round's been impressive.
You can see, they pointed out earlier, the defensive lapses, but his unconventional style and his incredible power usually bail him out. And when he straightens out those lefts, the power is compounded, like just now. Now Darchinian going to the right.
That was a counter left took a moment ago by Donaire. Every time Vic Darchinian kind of rushes in, he does get countered by Donaire. And that's an issue for him.
Donaire has more well-rounded skills than Darchinian. Darchinian usually just looks for that one punch to end it. He's kind of undisciplined, but it seems to work for him.
Well, you know, Vic Darchinian changes fighters. When they come in the ring, and he's right, once they've felt his power for the most part, Steve, they change. They can't use their skills. That hasn't happened yet to Nonito Donaire, but there's a good left hand by Darchinian.
Oftentimes, it's difficult to stay outside box move counter against Darchinian. You have to sort of get in his chest, push him back, make it messy, hook to the body. But that's easier said than done, because if you get inside and you feel his sting, it's very discouraging.
Now, to Donaire's credit, he has fought this whole fight from time to time, but I know not as much as he would want. So far, he hasn't hurt Donaire with that punch.
Donaire being extremely calm and patient here, waiting for his moments.
The other thing Donaire did a moment ago was he feinted Darchinian, and you saw Darchinian react.
Big straight left hand right on the button by Vic Darchinian. That nailed Donaire. Oh, there's a good left hand that staggered Darchinian. Remember, he's never been hurt or dropped in his career. Donaire sensing the moment. Darchinian battles back. Donaire marching forward. Pacing, it's another hard left hand to the chin by Donaire.
Ironic that a left hook has been the big weapon for Donaire. Surprising.
Listen, Vic, we are letting him do all the work from the middle. You're just standing there, and your right leg is not on the outside, inside. He's always catching us with right hand, Vic.
You gave him a couple of good punches.
Vic, it's all right, brother. It's all good.
Well, Darchinian was able to land a good straight left hand against Donaire. Darchinian, and big cut around the right eye of Darchinian.
We'll see if that enters in as a factor, so see how he responds in this situation. Round 4, scheduled for 12, IBF flyweight title. Darchinian's belt on the line. Darchinian's undefeated record at stake as well.
You know, Darchinian's dad is here to see his fight. Only the second time he's seen his son fight as a pro. He's got to be a little nervous at this point.
Tense moments for Ruben Darchinian. First trip to the United States.
Owned a gas station in Armenia, and he and Vic have a great relationship.
Concerned in the Darchinian corner as well, led by trainer Billy Hussein, who's 2-0 with Darchinian, so he's taking over from former world champion Jeff Fennick.
You know what's interesting about this, too? Now, Darchinian kind of feels urgency to come forward and make things happen, but when he does, Donaire is counterpunching him so effectively. So it's a tricky situation for Vic Darchinian right now.
Donaire not quite as aggressive as he was towards the end of the third round. Just tasted a straight left hand from Darchinian.
Darchinyan's able to get that left in, especially when he uses the jab. I think Vic Darchinyan has not used his jab enough in this fight, Stephen. Were he using it more, it would set up that straight left hand.
You'll notice both eyes red and swollen on Darchinyan right now. Missing wildly with a straight left is Darchinyan, so the eyes are becoming a factor for Darchinyan, and it's early. How will Vic Darchinyan handle adversity? For the moment, it appears as if Donaire is letting him off the hook. Now, that right hand by Donaire was blocked by the left glove of Darchinyan. Straight left hand by Darchinyan to the chest, pushes Donaire back.
Again, the counter left hook by Donaire. You know, the problem with Darchinyan is when he rushes in, defense is not something he remembers much, and Donaire has been able to take advantage of it. Now, there's some roughhouse tactics by Darchinyan. We talked about that before the fight. He likes to rough things up in there, but you can't do it, Steve, when your opponent, who has a big height and reach advantage, stays on the outside.
Nice counter left there by Donaire. Another counter there by Darchinyan, and a spin-around move by Donaire. And Eddie Claudio is saying, don't do that.
I kind of thought it was fun.
Works better in basketball.
Yeah, it's true.
Final seconds of the round.
And very much, I'm here with Glenn. Your brother is doing very, very well. Nonito is right now. How much advice were you able to give him coming off your loss to Darchinyan?
The only thing I told him is that, you know, look, if only I could hurt Vic, because Vic was way a lot bigger than I am. But, you know, like a fighter, you know, I never back up to anybody. But the thing is, I hit Vic with good punches back then, and I couldn't hurt him. I could only hear him go, oh. But I told him, if you hit him with those kind of punch, you'll knock him out.
And did you feel as though Darchinyan could not hurt your brother?
The thing is, we have two different styles. And the only thing my brother needs to do is, you know, just don't get hit. Because Darchinyan is, like I said, you know, God forbid, he's a lucky puncher.
You're more nervous now than when you fight, aren't you?
Oh, no. You know, to tell you ask my brother or whatever, when we go into the ring, we never, you know, no lie, we never get nervous. But when we see each other fight, we get nervous.
Calm down. Enjoy the fight. Thanks for coming on with us.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Back to you, Steve.
Thank you very much, Jim. Boy, he made me nervous. They are two different kinds of fighters. Glenn Donaire, a face-first brawler, and Nonito more of a tactical technician.
And Nonito Donaire has some physical attributes, too, that his brother doesn't have. He's taller, he's got the reach, and he's a little bit bigger. And so all of that is troubling Vic Darchinyan right now.
Darchinyan came in thinking that Nonito was more of a threat, that he was better than Glenn, taking nothing away from Glenn's skills. Round 5 underway, scheduled for 12. IBF flyweight belt on the line. The champion Darchinyan in the black. Struggling a little bit with the challenger in the red, Nonito Donaire. Nice shot to the body there by Donaire.
Exactly, Stephen. Later in the fight, Donaire thinks he'll own the later rounds. In his last 12-round fight, Donaire against Oscar Andrade won the last 3 rounds dramatically to win that decision. He feels he's going to be the stronger fighter in the later rounds.
And our panel of press row scorers have it as a majority draw after 4 rounds.
I have it 39-37 as Sherman Cain does.
Sherman Cain from the Manchester Journal-Inquirer here in Connecticut. Mark Abrams, 15rounds.com. Jack Overmeyer from Boxing Digest. Coming up at the midway point of round 5.
There's the jab by Nonito Donaire, working well.
Oh, boy, look out! Darchinyan down for the first time! Struggling to get to his feet! Until the secret's all over! It's all over! Nonito Donaire has pulled off the monstrous upset in emphatic fashion! Knockout for Nonito Donaire. That will go down as one of the knockouts of the year, if not the knockout of the year.
He's okay.
And now we turn our attention to the safety and health of Vic Darchinyan.
Yeah, the irony here, of course, is after the Victor Burgos fight, in which Burgos was in some serious trouble, we hope that will not be the case for Vic Darchinyan as they work on him and try and make sure he's okay.
What a dramatic moment here in this city of Bridgeport, Connecticut, as the emotions fly, the brothers embrace.
What a night for Nonito Donaire. He set the tone for that a couple rounds earlier by landing those really great counter left hooks. And now, as Vic Darchinyan remains on the canvas, and some of this may be precautionary, we can't speculate, but in any case, just to keep him down. But,
Bringing in the equipment, the pressure. Boy, you hit it right on the head. The irony, just like they brought it in for Victor Burgos. Avenging his brother's loss in dramatic fashion.
rounds earlier, Donaire had started to land the counter left hand, and just here it would come in dramatic fashion, again lunging in Darchinyan as he has not concerned about defense. You have to admire the courage of Darchinyan and the will, as hard as he was, trying desperately to get up and continue. And clearly we know he was hurt, and you see there just not doing well. And from above, we get a chance to see how well that left hook landed. It was just a perfect counter left hook by Nonito Donaire. And we talked about how the left hook had been successful early in the fight, and with the surprise weapon tonight, we would have expected the right hand to be more of a weapon for Donaire. And put an end to Vic Darchinyan's invincibility, that's for sure, and of course his undefeated streak. The right hand very low for Darchinyan, keeps it very low, walks into a left hook, and then ultimately changed his fight and ended it.
Nonito Donaire coming down from super flyweight to Vic Darchinyan. And Darchinyan think this is
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 38 seconds in round number 5. Our referee in charge, Eddie Claudio, stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout and the new IBF and IBO flyweight champion of the world, the Filipino Flash, Nonito